here. First of all, the APNU's remedy is, I think, perhaps the first real attempt in the history of Guyanese politics over the last 60 years at least, in which two parties, or more parties, in fact, a group of 4 parties have come together because the Working People's Alliance and the People's National Congress were at daggers drawn in many ways during the 1980s. But here we have two parties which were opposed to each other, prepared to sit down at the conference table and discuss their differences for the good of the nation. So what is happening is that we are proposing a remedy, and we are proposing a methodology to remedy the political situation in Guyana. This is the first time it has happened. We don't necessarily want to suppress any opposition, but we want to make sure that the opposition is within a framework, and that framework is one that is beneficial to the country in that it will bring about solutions rather than conflict. So the first caller, I think, who spoke about the APNU as a remedy, you're quite right. It is not that we're obliterating differences, but we're making sure that those differences are not settled in an antagonistic manner. We are not trying to defeat and destroy. We're trying to build Guyana. And I think all 4 partners, the People's National Congress Reform, the Working People's Alliance, the National Front Alliance, and the Guyana Action Party, are achieving just that. We've already signed on the dotted line, and the partnership will be launched formally 7 days from now, on the 15th of July. As far as the other question is concerned, we are convinced, and we have given a commitment, that once serious crimes have been committed, regardless of by whom, there will be a commission of inquiry. There will be inquests into all of these deaths that took place during the Troubles on the East Coast. And whatever the result, whoever is guilty, if an African has killed an Indian, if an Indian has killed an African, if the Phantom Squad has killed innocent people, whatever has occurred, we want to know the truth. We want to make sure that the mothers, the husbands and wives of the loved ones who have died receive satisfactory solutions, receive satisfactory answers to their questions. We want to have a law-governed society. We do not want a society that is full of conflict, that is full of murder. When you pick up the papers in the morning, how do you feel? You know, these massive traffic accidents, body found in septic tank, child abandoned. It seems that we are a brutish country. We want to turn the tide on that type of criminal violence, and we want to make sure that all of our citizens are satisfied that when there's an unnatural death, that death will be investigated in accordance with the law. An inquest will be held. And if somebody is responsible, that person will be charged under the law. So we are trying to pursue, through the APNU, a law-based society. We are trying to build a law-based society. And as a start, again, we are not interested in revenge. We're not interested in retribution. We're not interested in any sort of witch hunt. But persons who have committed grave offenses, for example, murder, torture, when we get into office, commissions of inquiry will be held. And if persons have charges to answer, they will be made to answer in front of a court of law. And that is a promise to all the persons who have suffered, people of any ethnicity. This is beyond race, this is beyond religion. This concerns the well-being of our citizens, and that is a commitment by the APNU to make sure that Guyana becomes a lawful country again.
Mr. Granger, before we go back to the phone lines, I need your comment on something quickly. Recently, I think it was the day before yesterday, we saw big headlines in the Kaieteur news that had to do with the U.S. Department criticizing the police force on corruption. I mean, that is a red light, basically detracting investors from coming to Guyana. You mentioned a couple of points, but specifically as it relates to investment, how would you make Guyana a safer place, not only for our own citizens, but for investors coming in?
Well, Mr. Clement Rohi, the Minister of Home Affairs, dismissed that U.S. report as an exaggeration. We Guyanese citizens who live here know that it is not an exaggeration. I do not feel that the entire police force is corrupt, but there are certain rogue elements. Even the Commissioner of Police admitted that he called them the bad eggs. The police force has some bad eggs. Well, what can you do with the bad egg? The Police Complaints Authority, run by the former Chancellor Justice Cecil Kennard, receives about 1 complaint every day on average about policemen. Some of them he investigates himself, but most of them he has to refer to the police force to investigate. So there is a problem. Even the President has complained about the complaints, the number of complaints made against policemen. Ordinary citizens have complained about it. So we need to separate the sheep from the goats as far as the police force is concerned. We need to reform the Guyana police force. We need to give them better training, better resources. We need to ensure that the officers receive the quality training that they should give, that they should be given, so that the police force fulfills its function of serving and protecting the Guyanese population. So as far as the United States report is concerned, we do not think it's an exaggeration. We think it is a call for action. And the Minister of Home Affairs will be making a big mistake if he ignores that report, because people in this country are fed up with being shaken down by corrupt policemen. There are many good policemen, and the APNU will promote those good policemen and make the police force an organization that is respected by all Guyanese citizens on the coastline, in the hinterland. And that is what we intend to do. There are many good policemen, there are many good officers, and we'll pay the police better. We'll give them better equipment. We'll give them better resources. We'll give them enough manpower and woman power too, to enable them to perform their functions. But we will make the police force better, and you, the Guyanese citizens, will be happy for that. But let me add one thing. There was another question about the Alliance for Change, which I didn't answer fully, and I'd like to take this opportunity to answer it a little more completely. The door is open. The Partnership for National Unity has spoken about this issue over and over again. We want to be a partnership of all political parties, all non-governmental organizations, and the whole of civil society, trade unions, whatever organization wish to come aboard. So as far as the Alliance for Change is concerned, the door is open. We know what Mr. Ramjatan has said, we know what Mr. Ramatar has said, but we believe that the Alliance for Change is made up of ordinary Guyanese citizens, and it is those citizens who will make the decision, not Mr. Ramjatan. Those citizens will make the decision whether their best interests lie within a partnership which seeks to resolve the differences, the political and other differences of this country, in a consensual manner, by discussion, or if they wish to go and paint themselves in a corner like their leader, if they wish to go and sing the same songs that the PPP is singing, and keep Guyana as a divided society. The people who are interested in national unity, the people who are interested in the future, people who are interested in making Guyana a safer society, will leave the Alliance for Change and come into the Partnership for National Unity, because the door is open and because we are prepared to accept all Guyanese to make this country a better place. So I am not worried that the leader of the AFC has decided to stand outside. What we're concerned about is that the members of the AFC will see better reason, and they will come aboard the APNU.
Okay. Good day to you.
Yes,
yes, caller, you're on the air.
good day to Mr. Granger. And first, let me congratulate him in the way he conducts himself as a presidential candidate. I think Guyana needs the most. When you compare you with others, notwithstanding that fact, I'm still of the opinion that what Guyana needs also is a constitutional changes, because I don't think that the political changes will be able to completely fix Guyana, even though that solves to some extent. But I do believe that it needs a more efficient and judiciary that is more independent, and constitutional change first before political changes occur in order to Guyana to move forward. Because as you rightfully said before, that most time it's either abuse or disrespect for the rule of law that has caused a lot of breakdown in society. and that is filtered in all sectors of the economy. So I think the major and the constitutional changes and the judiciary changes are in the hands of the political or the major political party, which could be done. And I just can't understand why it is not being done. And because if we really need Guyana to promote, to develop, and we have Guyana at heart, I think the major party should also look at that too. I don't know what your comment about that, or if you think that the political changes is enough for now to deal with the situation that exists. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, caller.